and welcome back to Subliminal Signals. I'm Carlton, and look, we are 9 episodes into this journey of identifying and resetting the thought patterns that keep us stuck in cycles we don't even recognize. And if you've been following along, you know we've tackled some major ones: feeling behind and perfectionism, needing certainty, people pleasing, timing excuses, the sabotage of success or sabotaging our success, comparison traps, and even age excuses. But today's subliminal signal might be the most fundamental one yet. This is the core script that influences how we see opportunities, resources, and possibilities. It's the signal that holds you back when you should step forward. It's the voice that sees lack where abundance exists, the thought that turns every decision into a zero sum game. You see, today's signal is there's not enough to go around. And if you just felt that familiar tightness in your chest, that instinct to hoard or hold back, this episode is going to challenge the very foundation of how you see the world. And most people don't even realize that they're running on a scarcity operating system. It's so deeply embedded in our thinking that it feels like reality instead of perception. But here's what scarcity thinking looks like in practice. You see someone else succeed, and you feel like it reduces your chances of success. You hesitate to share your knowledge because someone might steal your ideas. You hold on to opportunities too tightly instead of creating space for new ones. You make decisions from fear of loss rather than excitement about gain. This isn't about being pessimistic or realistic. This is about the fundamental belief that resources, opportunities, love, success, and happiness exist in limited quantities. That if someone else gets more, there's less for you. But here's what I want you to understand: scarcity is not a fact, it's a filter. It's the lens through which you interpret information. And it's been programmed into you by generations of survival based thinking, cultural messaging, and personal experiences of lack. Now, with that all having been said, the good news is that any filter can be changed. And when you shift from scarcity to abundance thinking, everything changes: your decisions, your relationships, your opportunities, and most importantly, your results. And as we're talking about scarcity thinking, one of the most common scarcity beliefs I hear is I don't have enough time to rest. People convince themselves that sleep is a luxury that they can't afford. The rest is for people who don't have real responsibilities. But here's the truth: quality sleep isn't a luxury, it's the foundation of everything else. It's the foundation of everything else. When you're well rested, you think more clearly, make better decisions, and actually accomplish more in less time. And that's why I put together the Sleep Reset, a 12-minute guided hypnosis session designed to help you fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply, even when your mind is racing with tomorrow's to do list. The sleep reset uses specific techniques to calm your nervous system and guide your brain into a restorative sleep pattern. No more lying awake, replaying the day, or worrying about tomorrow. And you can download the sleep reset absolutely free at coachingkaleidoscope.com. Check the description below of this video, and you'll see the link where you can sign up to get this gift to help you start prioritizing the rest that makes everything else possible. Because when you sleep better, you show up better. And when you show up better, abundance becomes your natural state. Grab your free sleep reset by clicking the link in the show notes below, or in the comments on YouTube. You can drop in Let's put the word reset in the chat, and you'll get a DM from me giving you the details on how to download the sleep reset file and start experiencing what quality rest can do for your life. Now let's get back to talking about scarcity. So here's what happens in your brain when you operate from scarcity. Your brain has what scientists call a threat detection system that's constantly scanning for potential dangers. When you believe resources are limited, your brain categorizes other people's. When you believe resources are limited, your brain will categorize other people's success, the opportunities, and even their good fortune as potential threats to your survival. And this activates the part of your brain that's like an alarm, that alarm center in your brain, the amygdala, which triggers a stress response. And when you're in this state, your prefrontal cortex, the part that's responsible for creative thinking and problem solving and seeing possibilities, it literally goes offline. We talked about this, I think, back in like episode one. And scarcity thinking doesn't just make you feel bad, it actually makes you less capable of recognizing and creating the very opportunities you're worried about missing. And meanwhile, abundance thinking does exactly the opposite. When you believe there's enough to go around, your brain, it relaxes. Your creative centers come online. You start noticing opportunities you couldn't see before. You make connections you wouldn't have made. You take actions you wouldn't have taken. And this isn't just positive thinking. This is practical neuroscience. Your beliefs about abundance and scarcity, they literally change your brain's ability to perceive and create opportunities. And there are five faces of scarcity, and it shows up differently in different people. So I want you to take a minute to look at these five patterns and see where you recognize yourself. So, number one is financial scarcity. There's never enough money. You make decisions from fear of running out rather than confidence in your ability to create more. You see money as finite rather than flowing. Then there's opportunity scarcity. And this is where you say, I have to take this chance because another one might not come. You grab onto opportunities out of desperation rather than choosing them from alignment. You can't imagine better options existing. Then there's time scarcity. This is where there's never enough time. You rush through life feeling perpetually behind. You can't imagine creating more spaciousness or working more efficiently. Next is relationship scarcity. This is good people are hard to find. You hold on to relationships even when they don't serve you anymore because you're afraid of being alone. And you can't imagine attracting any better connections. And finally, there's success scarcity. Only a few people can really make it. And you see success as a limited commodity rather than something that can be created and expanded upon. Someone else's win feels like a loss for you. So, which of those feels most familiar? Because each of these creates a different kind of limitation in your life, and each requires a specific approach to reset. So, this week, here is your reset. Instead of saying there's not enough to go around, say this: there's more than enough, and I can create even more. But this reset requires evidence, not just belief. So here's an abundance audit exercise. I want you to start with documenting your current abundance. I want you to take a look around your life right now. What evidence of abundance already exists? What relationships or opportunities or resources, skills, knowledge, um, what things do you already have? And don't minimize it. Like, really inventory what's already flowing to you. Then I want you to trace your creation history. Think about the resources and opportunities you've created or attracted in the past. How did they come to you? What role did you play in generating them? Then I want you to identify your expansion opportunities. Where could you create more value, more connections, more solutions? What problems could you solve that would generate more abundance for everyone involved? Step four, I want you to notice the scarcity triggers. When do you find yourself slipping into scarcity thinking? What situations, people, or topics activate that not enough feeling? And then I want you to practice abundance responses. When you notice scarcity thinking, pause and ask, how could there be more than enough here? How could this situation expand to benefit everyone? You see, the goal isn't to ignore practical limitations, but to stop creating artificial limitations through scarcity based thinking. And here's something that might challenge your assumptions. The fastest way to create abundance is to help others create abundance. When you operate from the belief that there's enough for everyone, you start looking for ways to expand the pie instead of fighting over it. And I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was Zig Ziglar who said, if you want more out of life, you help more people achieve what they want, or something to that effect, right? The more you help others, the more help will come to you. And this shows up in unexpected ways. Instead of hoarding your knowledge, you share it freely and become known as a generous expert. And this attracts more opportunities. Instead of competing with peers, you collaborate with them and create bigger opportunities than either of you could generate by yourselves. And instead of protecting your network, you make connections for others and become a valuable connector, which expands your own network exponentially. Instead of holding on to opportunities that aren't quite right for you, you pass them to someone who's a better fit and build a reputation for good judgment and generosity. Now, this isn't just about being nice. This is strategic abundance creation. When you help others win, you don't get less. You get access to a bigger game. And speaking of abundance, I want to tell you something special that's happening inside the Story Shift Circle. Now, this is our private membership community for growth minded professionals who are serious about transformation. What's going to be happening coming up is that each month I'm going to be doing live hypnosis sessions for our members. And each month, these will help you rewrite limiting the beliefs. This will help you rewrite limiting beliefs at the subconscious level. And they'll exist as a growing library of transformation tools. I'm also generating what I'm calling story playbooks. These are guided journaling exercises to help you rewrite those limiting beliefs as well. This month, we're going to do a deep dive on, and I'm thinking of lining it up with this particular episode around abundance. So, we're going to create a complete system for identifying and reprogramming the subconscious scripts that keep you thinking small. Now, I need to be transparent with you about something. When I first started the Story Shift Circle, it was a free community. And then in the last maybe month or a few weeks, we moved to $9 per month as we've added more value. But we've reached a point where um, the transformation tools and the live support we're providing are worth so much more. So starting next month, new members will pay $97 per month. Now, this is the true value of what we're providing. But here's the thing, if you join before the end of this month, you'll lock in the current $9 rate for life. That's right, $9 per month forever, as long as you remain a member. Now, this isn't a sales tactic, it's a grandfather clause for the people who believed in the community early on. And after this month, that $9 rate will never be available again. Now, inside the Story Shift Circle, you're not just getting content, you're joining a community of people who understand that transformation happens at the subconscious level. And you're getting the tools to actually rewire those deep patterns that keep you stuck. And if you've been thinking about joining, now is the time. Visit kaleidoscopecoaching.com/school to lock in your $9 per month rate before it goes to 97. Because here's what I know about abundance. When you invest in your growth, you don't get less. You create a capacity for more. All right. Now let's continue exploring how to shift from scarcity to abundance thinking. Because here's the thing, here's something that seems counterintuitive, right? But it is absolutely true. The more willing you are to give away, the more you receive. The more open you are to others' success. The more open you are to others' success, the more successful you will become. The more you believe there's enough for everyone, the more you personally have access to. And this isn't mystical thinking, it's practical psychology. When you operate from abundance, you take bigger risks because you're not afraid of loss. You're excited about possibility. You build stronger relationships because you're not trying to extract value, you're trying to create it. You recognize more opportunities because you're not focused on protecting what you have. You're looking for ways to grow. Wait, let's say that again. You recognize more opportunities because you're not focused on protecting what you have. You're looking for ways to grow what you have. And you make better decisions because you're not desperate. You can choose what truly aligns with your values and goals. You attract abundance minded people because like attracts like. Scarcity thinkers gravitate towards each other, and so do abundance thinkers. The abundance paradox is that having an abundance mindset creates abundant results, while having a scarcity mindset creates scarce results. And this is regardless of your current circumstances. So, this week, I want you to practice creating abundance responses. And we want those abundant responses to come, we want those things to jump up when those scarcity thoughts occur. So, when you see someone else succeed, instead of feeling threatened, ask, what does this prove is possible? And when you're facing a difficult decision, instead of asking, what might I lose? Ask, what could I gain? And when you're considering an investment in yourself, instead of thinking, I can't afford this, ask, how could I pay for this itself? How could this pay for itself? When someone asks for help, instead of thinking I don't have time, ask, how could helping them help me too? And finally, when you're looking at your resources, instead of focusing on what's missing, inventory what's available and ask, how could I multiply this? Notice how different these questions feel. Notice how they shift your energy from contraction to expansion, from protection to creation. Because when you shift from scarcity to abundance thinking, you don't just change your own life, you change the lives of everyone around you. Your kids learn that opportunities can be created, not just found. Your colleagues discover that collaboration creates better results than competition. Your friends see that supporting each other's success makes everyone more successful. You become a source of possibility. Thinking in a world full of limitation, you model what it looks like to operate from trust instead of fear, from expansion instead of contraction, from creation instead of protection. And this is what I've observed. Abundance minded people naturally attract other abundance minded people. And before you know it, you'll be surrounded by people who see possibilities where others see problems. People who create solutions instead of complaining about situations, who build each other up instead of tearing each other down. So until next time, I want you to remember scarcity is not a fact, it's a choice. Every day you get to choose whether you see lack or abundance, whether you operate from fear or trust, whether you'll protect what you have or create what you want. There is enough success to go around. There are enough opportunities to go around as well. There is enough love, there is enough joy, prosperity, and fulfillment for everyone, including you. The question isn't whether abundance exists. The question is whether you'll be open and whether you'll open your eyes to see it and your heart to receive it. So, thanks for being here. Thanks for being willing to examine beliefs that most people never question. Thanks for considering that maybe, just maybe, you live in a universe of infinite possibility, not finite resources. And I'll see you next week with another subliminal signal that's probably keeping you smaller than you're meant to be. Until then, keep resetting. And remember, there's more than enough, and you can create even more.